Hello, hello. Welcome to New Covenant University. We're a private Christian university that we have been around since 1987. We have thousands of graduates. We train ministers, full-time ministers, Christian leaders, teachers, and counselors. If you're interested in learning more about New Covenant University, go to our website at ncu.education or call me or WhatsApp me if you're international at 615-948-2212. My name is Dr. Angel Kreitz. I'm the president and an academic mentor here at New Covenant University. And today I'm going to teach you part 3 of PHI 101 on purpose. It's a shorter version of the purpose teaching. It has a lot of review in it, but it has a lot of really great nuggets. And I think you'll really enjoy today. Thank you for joining me, by the way. And if you have any feedback or any questions, please feel free to contact us here at 615-948-2212. Thank you so much. So let's get started. First of all, your purpose is not your decision. It's your discovery. You were born with your purpose. People ask you when you were growing up, what you want to be when you grew up. Well, that's not your decision. What you are was already predetermined. You were born with the gift of God inside of you. You were born with your purpose. Before we were human doing, we were humans being. So your purpose is not your decision. It's your discovery. Your purpose, number 2, demands progress. It's the drive that keeps it alive. You're not going to be content to stay neutral when it comes to your purpose. You're going to want to move forward with your purpose. You're never going to be satisfied if you stay stagnant. Your purpose is largely comprised of what you're passionate about. And we always pursue those passions and we progress in them. You're not going to ever want to stay just in one place. It will demand your progress. Number 3, your purpose determines your relationships. When right comes in, wrong must leave. Someone who does not increase you inevitably decreases you. I know I've heard it said that people are like elevators. They're either taking you up or bringing you down. It's true. There are no neutral people in your life. And so it's important. It's important that you maintain healthy relationships with people who are on board with your purpose or who at least appreciate and support you moving forward in your purpose. Number 4, your purpose defines your goals. Goals can be birthed or borrowed. You can help someone else achieve their purpose. That may be your purpose, is to be someone who's a support person. Or you may birth your own purpose. And so either way, that's it will define your purpose, will define your goal. God gives you goals so you know how to self-talk. You don't want to speak against your own self. A lot of us have negative things to say about ourselves. A lot of us have negative things to say about our future. A lot of us have negative things to say about our circumstances. But if you have goals, you know how to self-talk. This is where I'm going. This is where I determined to be in a year. This is where I believe my purpose is taking me. It's going to keep you focused. The more you can define your goal, the more focused you will be and the more likely you are to achieve what it is you're meant to achieve. Number 5, you will be misunderstood by others. What becomes familiar becomes hidden, uncelebrated. We saw that when Jesus taught in Nazareth. He was there set to do many amazing things, do many amazing miracles. And the Bible says he simply couldn't because of their lack of faith. Your purpose is so unique to you that other people won't understand it. They won't understand why you think the way you think, why you talk the way you talk, why you're going where you're going. They won't understand it because your purpose is not their purpose necessarily. Even among your own family, they may not understand you, but that's okay. Your family is there to keep you humble. Your family is there to make sure you stay humble, but at the same time, God gives you a family before he gives you enemies, because it's much easier to learn how to deal with that sort of thing before you have an enemy. It's easier to deal with people who love you and who are not on board with your purpose than it is an enemy. So it's great to have that, but you will be misunderstood by people closest to you. Next, your purpose will create your life message. You know, Billy Graham was a great evangelist. He created his life message. But when you say Billy Graham, you think souls. When you say Benny Hinn, you think healing. When you say Oscar Mayer, you think processed meat. When you say Sam Walmart, you think great American store franchise, or at least that's how it started. What is your life message? Your purpose will create that for you. Whatever you function in will become your life message. Your purpose will demand order. Order increases peace and productivity. You know, if you say order to most people, they're going to think a double cheeseburger and some fries. Um, Not many people understand the nature of order and how to have it in their life. Order is a safety net. It establishes a routine. It's a mindset wherein you don't waste a lot of time, or that you have a certain amount of consistency in your life. If you have some consistency in your life, you know what to expect, and you know the times that you will have to do things in. So it creates a peace because you know what to expect, and it limits your time to perform certain functions. So it creates a productivity in you. I don't know about you, but I always work better with a deadline. So I know a lot of people who do that. And so we love and appreciate order in our life. Next, your purpose will require excellence. It will require that you give your very best every day. Because it's something you're passionate about and you love, because you are interested in what your purpose is about, you're going to want to give your very best because you know it's going to be a reflection of you. You will be more excellent in your purpose than anyone else will be trying to do your purpose. Your purpose will create an excellence for you. Number 9, your purpose will cause you to be planted in a specific place. You know, in part 2, we talked about your purpose will cause you to be planted in a specific place for a specific time to very specific people. And this is true. And we talked about why that was. Your place determines who sees you. Who sees you is able to give you favor. Whoever sees you is able to give you favor. Where you're planted will determine what you produce. It will determine what you produce. God made places before he made faces. He made the Garden of Eden before he put man in it. Location matters. You must be in a location where you can grow and thrive and, in essence, show your purpose and operate in your purpose. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Location matters. It's vitally important. Your purpose will not permit unforgiveness. Your purpose will not permit unforgiveness. Why? Because when you're operating in unforgiveness, your focus is off. Your focus is off. It's on the negative thing that happened. And people who operate in their purpose are so focused. They're so focused on their purpose that they're not going to give time for toxicity or negativity in their life. People are the least of your problems. Bitterness is too costly to you. It will drain your energy, it will drain your peace, and it will certainly take away your focus. 2 days of that, and you're falling behind. Unforgiveness has no place in your life when you're focused on your purpose. Number 11, your purpose will reject confusion. Your purpose will reject confusion. You know, who are you listening to? Wrong voices create wrong decisions. Wrong voices give wrong information, and it makes a wrong decision. It makes you make a wrong decision. What you consistently hear, you will eventually believe. Confusion is a sign that a deceiver is present, even if it's not, even if it's within yourself. If you're confused about a situation, you have to stop and sit back and listen to your thoughts, listen to the other voice, and then ask God to reveal truth to you. Because confusion is almost always birthed by deception. And most of the time, we tend to deceive ourselves. You know, I talk to people about what they're saying, what they hear, and then what they're saying to themselves. And a lot of us do what's called negative self-talk. And it causes you to be very confused. I remember at one point in my life, I thought to myself, oh, self, I can't do this. I can't public speak. I can't teach a group of adults. I'm not going to make any sense. I'm going to get nervous. And believe me, teaching on camera is the absolute worst, because instead of having a lot of smiling faces nodding and understanding back at you, you're looking at yourself. And it does create a lot of negative self-talk if you're not real secure in what you're doing. But, you know, isn't it good that God always helps us? Your purpose, I knew my purpose was to educate the Christian leader, to educate people who needed information on marriage, and just to be a minister of the gospel. And that made me push through any confusion that I had. Number 12, you're going to discover that you have enemies. You're going to discover that you have enemies. Enemies are uncovered when you walk in purpose, and you'll be known by the enemy you defeat or by the enemy who defeats you. Look at David and Goliath. He became known as soon as he defeated Goliath. In fact, they wrote songs about him. They wrote songs about him and sang about him, and the king himself was jealous. It will cause you to discover your enemies. You know, anytime anyone shares with me a story about someone who's coming against them, I remember the days. I remember the days when I used to be a puddle on the floor when anyone spoke against me. I was like, why? You know, I'm not anybody that anyone should be concerned about. Why do I have people who are just speaking against me? And I have friends who are in the same position. And I remember God, like, reading the book, Discovering the Power of Purpose. I think it's chapter 3, where it talks about enemies. And it talked about David and how he became known after he defeated his enemy. So anytime someone come, I had to self-talk. I had to say, you know what? I've killed a lion and I've killed a bear. And in the name of Jesus, I'll kill you too. Mentally, not physically. I had to conquer what was coming against me. The words spoken against me, I had to conquer them. I couldn't receive them. So when you discover your enemy, you should rejoice because you know your promotion is coming. If anyone cares that much about what you're doing, you're about to be promoted. Now, if you don't have any enemies, check what you're doing. Are you doing anything? Don't stay still. Your purpose demands progress, remember? Number 13, your purpose will require consistent, constant mentorship in your life. You know, a mentor is a prophecy of your future. Who are you following? Are they someone who's been where you want to go? Are they someone who's wise or has some level of victory in their life? Are they someone who is willing to help you to reach your goals and to walk in your purpose? Are they someone who is invested in you? Are they someone who cares about you? I just had to help a young lady who lost her mom. And she lived in another state and she was calling me and I said, honey, do you have another church you go to? And she said, yes, ma'am, I go every Sunday to this church here. And I mean, it was a Thursday. And I called and called and called the church. There was no number attached to it. I emailed the church. I instant messaged them on their website, all animated, not animated, automated messages came back to me. And I asked her, I said, is that who your mentor is? Is that like your mother is dying, you're at the hospital all by yourself. And I just felt such compassion for her because I thought no one should have to go through that. You will know you have the right mentor if your mentor genuinely cares about you. You should have your mentor's phone number and be able to get a hold of them in a reasonable amount of time. Now, that was Thursday. This is Tuesday, and she has not gotten a call back from them yet. You need constant and consistent mentorship in your life. Be sure to choose the right person. Never let there be a time when you're without mentorship. Not once. And never, ever don't call your mentor during a crisis because you don't want to bother them. In fact, never let your mentor hear you say that. Speaking as a mentor, I can tell you, it is the joy of my life to hear from my proteges, good or bad. Why? Because God has called me to a specific thing. God has called me to minister to people. That is my joy. Good or bad, God's called me to it. He gives me strength and he gives me joy. So never, never say to your mentor, I didn't call you because I don't want to bother you. In fact, that shouldn't even cross your mind if you have the right mentor. Moving forward, your purpose will cause you to manage your time well. You know, you must assign a purpose to your time. I remember when Dr. Kreitz and I were traveling 15 days out of the month, we were traveling a ridiculous amount of time. And things had to be done in between trips. Content had to be researched and errands had to be run. Everything had to be done. Appointments, personal mentorship time with people who were connected with us. All of that had to be done. And so I remember having a calendar where I could plan every single 15 minutes of my day. And what I couldn't do, I had to plan to delegate and I had to assign it to a specific person and plan a time to follow up. And so you must assign a purpose to every bit of your time. And sometimes the purpose that you need to assign to your time is relaxation. Relaxation. Now, that can't be that can't be out of balance. But it's important that you assign a purpose to your time. You have to create successful habits that lead to successful routines. Why? Because your future is held in the routine of your everyday. Your future is held in the routine of your day, of your present day. You must assign a purpose for your time. You can't wait for things to happen. You must plan them. The worst thing you could possibly do is let someone call you and they say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And you say the worst thing ever, "Nothing. I'm not doing anything." Never say that. Always plan your time. Number 15. Your purpose will cost you absolutely everything. It'll cost you your comfort. It'll cost you your time. It'll cost you an investment in learning. It'll cost you everything. People trade their not purpose for everything anyway. It's when you invest everything into your purpose that you receive your greatest ROI. And for those of you who don't know what ROI is, that's your return on investment. Your return on investment will be greater if you invest in your purpose instead of other temporal things. What is your purpose? What did God give you to do? Invest in that thing. Therein lies your reward. That's where you get your reward. What is this? Number 16? It's like I'm doing good on time. I was hoping to get this done in 30 minutes, and it looks like I will. 16, your purpose demands an absolutely unbroken focus. The only reason people fail is because of focus. That's why it's important not to have people around you that would divide your focus. You know, you're walking in your purpose, you know what your purpose is, and then people want to add this and add that and add this. And then you're stretched so far out that you're not any more good with your purpose. You must maintain an unbroken focus. Your purpose requires a supernatural touch of God. God will never give you anything that you can do all on your own. Why? Because he loves getting the glory. He's a God who wants the glory. And I'm happy to give him the glory. When you see me and when you look at my life and you say, and there have been plenty of people who have said this, how in the world does she do everything that she's doing? Well, it's because of God's strength. It's because God never requires of me what he's not willing to do himself through me. And I let him. God's never going to give you a purpose that does not require his participation. He is committed to your purpose. That's where true miracles happen, is when you allow him to work through you and give him the glory. That's why you have a purpose. Your purpose is to glorify God through your life, through your mouth, through your actions, and through your purpose. Number 18. When you are operating in your purpose, you will understand that crisis is normal. You will no longer treat everything as emergent. Crisis is simply a break in the rhythm of life. It happens to us all. Some people attract more crisis than others because they are not walking in order. They have a broken focus. They are not allowing God to work through them and staying in their purpose. But purpose is normal for crisis is normal for absolutely everyone. When you have something present itself as a crisis to you, you should always wait 24 hours before making a decision. Those knee-jerk reactions that we have to crisis or to people, those will cost you dearly, and they're usually wrong decisions. You must give it 24 hours so that you can respond to a crisis. Nothing is as it first appears, ever. 24 hours. Your purpose will require you to have seasons of preparation and training. You weren't born qualified. There are no born leaders. You may have the gift of that leadership inside of you, so that as you develop and grow and train, that comes right out of you. But you weren't born a natural qualified leader. You weren't born a naturally qualified anything. You must have seasons of preparations. Even the disciples who were mentored by the Son of God himself had to train for 3.5 years under him before they were released to become apostles. You must have this season of preparation. Number 20. Your purpose will cause you to become more discerning about the people in your life. Your future is connected with people. When God wants to bless me, he sends someone. When the enemy wants to harm me, he sends someone. They rarely act on their own. I never open the door and see a demon standing there. No. They come through people. God blesses through people. The enemy harms through people. And you have to discern which is which. When you do discern, you have to learn how to respond to that correctly. I know people who have been a big blessing to another person. And so they will sow into their life, or they will do something to bless that person, but they didn't know how to receive it correctly. When someone comes into your life to bless you, you have to discern that, and you have to receive it and give them gratitude for it in exchange for their gift. You must learn to be gracious. When the enemy comes in and wants to hurt you through someone, you have to learn how to respond to that gracefully so that you don't have a reaction for others to see. Either way, you have to learn to discern. Number 21, your purpose requires pursuit. Your purpose, you'll never possess what you're unwilling to pursue. If a fella sits across the room from a young lady and he says, "Oh man, I'd really like to have that young lady on my arm. I'd like to take her to the dance, to the prom." And he never asks her. He never finds out about her. He never introduces her name, ever introduces himself and finds out her name. If he never calls her on the phone or actually tries to talk to her in person, I doubt very seriously he'll have a friendship with her. He must pursue her. People who want money must pursue it. They have to work for it. They have to find a way to get the money. You will never obtain, you will never have what you don't pursue. It works the same with your purpose. You must pursue your passion. You must pursue your purpose in order to operate in it. Your purpose will require self-motivation. Atmosphere is important. Reorder your environment. I keep a very neat office. And the reason I do that is because a neat office helps me to think clearly and maintain my focus. I put pictures on the walls that help me to stay motivated. They aren't necessarily pictures of things I would do in my purpose. Maybe they're pictures of rewards that I like. I have a big circus poster hanging in my office that I got one day when I visited Sarasota at the Ringling Brother Museum. And I love doing things like that, going to beautiful places and seeing beautiful things. And that's what that poster, that framed piece of art shows me. Is it motivates me because I want to, again, go to beautiful places and see beautiful things. How about music? I play music in my office that motivates me. Most of the time, I love playing worship music, things that remind me how big God is and how much He cares for me. That motivates me. Fragrance motivates people. I like sandalwood and vanilla. That clean kind of floral smell really motivates me. It makes me feel like I'm in an environment that's peaceful and organic. Imagination, there are two keys, imagination and memory. Two keys to motivating yourself is imagination and memory. Imagination and memory. Number one, imagination, because you're imagining what's going to happen. And memory, because you will remember what you've accomplished before with God's help. Just like earlier, I just mentioned it. When David was in the battlefield with Goliath, he remembered, he said, I've killed a lion, I've killed a bear. And then he imagined, and now I'm going to kill you. Right? Imagination and memory. Number 23, your purpose will require intense times of prayer. Your purpose will require intense times of prayer. You know what God sees you do in your relationship with Him in private, He will reward publicly. People will be able to discern that you have heard from God, that you know what you're saying, that you're anointed. Your confidence will exude an anointing. So people will discern that, and God will reward you with favor, with grace, with all the fruits of the Spirit. And I know that people try to shortcut this time, but when you're operating in your purpose, it is vital that you hear a word from the Lord almost on a daily basis. I hear from God every day. He gives me instructions that I follow. And because I follow and I walk in obedience, favor follows me. You must spend time in prayer when you operate in purpose. And finally, the 24th key here at 33 minutes is that your purpose will create an increase for you. Increase in what? Confidence, favor, monetary. It increases you in every way. Your relationships, your friendships with other people. Your purpose will create increase. Your purpose will create increase in every aspect of your life. Don't doubt it for a minute. As you operate in your purpose, you will see the increase that comes about from doing that. Listen, if you've enjoyed this teaching, sign up for the newsletter at mypurposeintl.com, mypurposeinternational.com, so that you don't miss a single one. All of these videos will be attached to our newsletter at My Purpose International and New Covenant University. The newsletter will have links to these classes so that you don't miss a single one. Thank you for allowing me to come into your world today. Thank you for watching me all the way through. God bless you, and I'll see you next time.